Desk light slanted into the room, spilling a warm honeyed glow across every corner. The soft glow fell upon Yiming's sleeping face, making her frown faintly. She rubbed her eyes, sat up slowly from the floor, and stretched lazily, a faint smile tugging at her lips. She had been thinking about Shuche earlier, only to drift asleep unawares on the cold floor. Her thoughts had lingered on him before rest, and he filled every dream. With a tall, straight nose, sharp, defined features, and every smile and frown as exquisite as a painting. In that dream, the handsome Shuche smiled and took her hand. Waking, she stared at her left palm, heart swelling with sweet bliss. As if settling a firm resolve, she sprang to her feet. Staring at her reflection in the mirror, she took a deep breath, grabbed a pair of scissors, and snipped off her long, flowing hair in one sharp cut. The uneven strands barely covered her ears, and she hastily trimmed a ragged, toppy fringe. Gazing at her bold new look, she relaxed and smiled, revealing pearlescent white teeth. On Monday morning, Yiming XIA appeared on the flag-raising ceremony podium with this wild, unconventional style. Everyone was stunned, not only by her messy haircut, but by her T-shirt. Custom-made, the plain white top bore a black printed portrait of Shuche. Word spread like wildfire, and overnight she became the center of gossip among every girl in school. How bold can she be, printing Shuche's face on her clothes? How shameless, publicly confessing like this. Is she even embarrassed? Cruel and shocked whispers followed her everywhere. In restrooms, hallways, and the sports field. Loving someone fiercely was easy, yet restraining her heart proved impossible. She cared deeply for Shuche, burning with curiosity about how he saw her. Fearless and determined, she craved his attention. The louder the chatter, the prouder she grew. This was exactly what she wanted. To those students gossiped endlessly. Teachers turned a blind eye. The printed portrait was artistically stylized, impossible to identify with absolute certainty. Moreover, Yiming's near-minus perfect exam scores granted her extra leniency. Yet none of that mattered. Days of bold displays passed, and Shuche remained completely unmoved. Disappointment weighed on her through evening self-study. Staring blankly at her chemistry paper, a crumpled paper ball struck her head. Unfolding it, she read, "Stop daydreaming, focus on your studies. Change that shirt. Can't you hear what everyone is saying?" Glancing toward the center, she saw Yu Chen frowning at her. She glared back, mouthing, "Mind your own business," crumpling the note and tossing it aside. Heavy rain poured after school, drumming loudly against the windows. The classroom stirred. Those without umbrellas despaired, while others flaunted theirs proudly. Her earlier melancholy washed away by the rain. Yiming's eyes lit up. She packed her bag in a rush and sprinted out the second the bell rang. She knew Shuche never carried an umbrella, refusing to let him catch a cold in the chilly early spring weather. He resolved to walk him to the dormitory. The moment she appeared, Shuche recognized her, the girl who had sparked endless rumors about him. Her messy cropped hair stuck up softly, exposing her slightly protruding elfin ears. Her clear, bright eyes locked onto him, earnest and docile like a loyal puppy. Impossible to refuse. A faint, hidden smile played on his lips. "What new trick are you planning now?" Shaking her umbrella brightly, she grinned. "I'm walking you to your dorm." Ensadino. One high school was strict and high-minus achieving, with a semi-minus boarding system for nearby students. As a day student, her deliberate gesture spoke volumes. "Aren't you afraid of getting caught by the dean?" "We aren't dating," she retorted. "What have you got to fear?" Caught off guard by her quick wit, Shuche paused, then smiled helplessly and stepped outside. She followed closely at his heels. Towering over her by a full head, he noticed her struggling to hold the umbrella at a proper angle. "Let me." He took the umbrella, slowing his pace to match hers. Their shoulders brushed gently with every step, quiet and tentative like testing fish. The faint contact thudded steadily against Yiming's heart, soft as raindrops splashing across the pavement. She stole glances at his sculpted features, He had tiny tiger teeth when he smiled, brimming with youthful vitality. He had thought him strikingly handsome and strangely familiar from their first meeting, later realizing his side profile resembled Wang Junkai. When she mentioned it, Xu Che shot her a disdainful glance. So, you only admire my looks? Allah, of course not. I value inner depth. Flustered. She raised her voice, stepping clumsily into a puddle and soaking her shoes and socks. Wincing, she quickly smiled and insisted she was fine. Sighing softly, Xu Che cautioned, soak your feet in hot water tonight or you'll catch a cold. His low voice blended with the pattering rain, warm and intimate in the dim night. Yi Ming Xia nodded earnestly. 3. That short shared umbrella walk lingered in her thoughts for an entire week. She replayed every detail, his reluctant compromise, his subtle caring concern, the brush of their shoulders. She smiled to herself constantly, quiet and content like a bear stealing honey. She was certain she had finally caught Xu Che's eye. Yet soon after, trouble found him. Rumors spread that he had skipped class. Though average in grades, he was never truant. Overcome with worry, Yi Ming Xia faked sick leave to search for him. She found him in a dim billiards hall near campus. Dim lamps hung low over the tables. Few guests filled the space on a weekday afternoon. And she spotted Xu Che straight away. A sharp crack echoed as the white ball struck a red ball, sinking it perfectly into the pocket. Clapping excitedly, she met his gaze. Even the top student skips class now. He spoke lightly, yet his face remained cold and tight with unspoken gloom. Sensing his foul mood, she grabbed a cue and stepped forward. Teach me to play? His shot faltering, he glanced at her and demonstrated slowly. Arch your hand, steady your thumb root. Copying his stance, she pushed the cue gently. The white ball rolled forward, knocking a yellow ball straight into the hole. Gifted with quick wit, she mastered the game swiftly. Her exceptional math and physics skills let her calculate angles and distances effortlessly. After a few practice rounds, she challenged him confidently. One round winner takes all. If I win, you grant me one wish. Raising an eyebrow, Xu Che studied her, cue planted like a spear. One hand on her hip. Brash yet endearing. Amused by her overconfidence, he agreed. Talented as she was, she lost by a single point to the experienced player. Victory lightened Xu Che's heavy heart, drawing out a rare genuine smile, bright as spring buds. Though disappointed at losing her wish, Yi Mingxi's sorrow faded at the sight of his smile. In that moment, she understood Neruda's words, you may deny me bread, air, light, spring, but never deny me your smile, or I shall fade away. Noticing her low spirits, Xu Che relented. Consider it my loss for being a beginner. I'll head back to school with you. Who said I came to take you back? She blinked. Surprised, he asked. Then what is your wish? His question hung in the air. Xu Che had long guessed her secret. Bold and outspoken in chasing him, she never confessed her feelings outright. Afraid of the truth, yet desperate to know it, advancing step by step with caution. After a long pause, she spoke softly. I sign up for an art studio. Come paint with me every Saturday. Dusk painted the sky in burning red clouds. White marble buildings glowed golden along the pedestrian street, lined with endless blue irises. Xu Che was utterly surprised, yet agreed without hesitation after a short pause. Or from then on, they spent every Saturday afternoon at the art studio. Officially, Xu Che accompanied her to paint. But Yi Mingxi's focus never strayed to her canvas. She doodled aimlessly, her full attention fixed on him instead. Xu Che, by contrast, painted earnestly, rolling up his sleeves to sketch line art, blend colors, and refine details calm and steady as a winter sky. She once tried secretly drawing his profile, reworking the outline for hours without satisfaction, finally admitting she lacked artistic talent. Instead, she lingered beside him, praising his skill nonstop and snapping photos, unashamed of her admiration. Gradually, Xu Che grew used to her open affection. He knew such sincere, unreserved fondness was rare. Watching her chatter endlessly, a sudden urge stirred in him to smooth the stray hair by her ear. But he held back. Shouldering their sketchbooks, they walked to and from the studio side by side. On the way, she rambled about delicious egg tarts, complained about endless exam papers, and recited ancient poems with him. The sun blazed bright, and the young pair glowed under its rays. They bought 2 bottles of soda, clinking the cold glass bottles together. Clear orange liquid swayed, catching the sunlight as tiny bubbles rose endlessly, mirroring their overflowing youthful joy. He believed fragile bubbles did not matter, new ones would always come with fresh soda. Their sweet bond did not go unnoticed. Sensitive teenage students thrived on gossip. Her close friend Zixi questioned her eagerly. Did you beat Shu Chai and make him grant your wish? I lost, Yiming Xia corrected. Shocked, Zixi gaped. Is winning Shu Chai's heart really that easy? We only paint together, she insisted again. Gossip mongers ignored the truth, swept up in the explosive rumor. Far more excited than she was. Even Yu Chen heard the news. Walking home together, he warned her anxiously. Don't forget your goal, Peking University. Childhood friends. He always overcomplicated things. Though she knew he meant well, she disliked his constant worry. Don't you trust me? She asked. Yu Chen fell silent. He trusted her, yet feared her growing closeness with Shu Chai. Without waiting for his reply, she unlocked her door and stepped inside. Left alone, he muttered, sorry, what's so great about Shu Chai anyway? 5 in the autumn of their sophomore year, Shu Tai and Yiming Xia planned a sketching trip to Lingchuan, departing early Saturday by coach. Lingchuan, a mountain village dozens of kilometers from N City, blazed with fall colors each year. Sumac and maple leaves turned vivid red, weaving red, golden green across the rolling hills, drawing painters and visitors alike. Worn out from the early start, Shu Chai fell asleep instantly on the bus. Yiming Xia shook him awake, forcing him to recite ancient poetry for their upcoming exam. Years apart, even fine scenery shall feel empty. She pressed on. Next line. She pried open his heavy eyelids, leaning close until he grabbed her wrist, growling the reply, though 1,000 tender affections linger, to whom can I speak them? Can I sleep now? Little troublemaker. As their eyes met, he noticed her leaning on his shoulder, faces inches apart, her long lashes fluttering softly at his breath. Both flushed red, pulling away sharply as if burned by a spring. Sleep. I'll wake you when we arrive, she mumbled, flustered, and only relaxed once a steady breathing filled the air. In Lingchuan, Shu Chai painted the mountain scenery quietly each day, while she wandered the village, snacking on fresh dark plums. At dinner, she stared mysteriously out the window. Curious, Shu Chai asked, what are you looking at? Hilsi. Night fell fast in the mountains. After their meal, Yiming Xia jumped behind him, covering his eyes and leading him down long stone steps to a hidden spot. Let go on 3, look up. Opening his eyes, Shu Chai beheld a sky dense with silver stars, tiny and twinkling like scattered diamonds. In all his years, he saw grander starry skies later in life. Yet none matched this night's soft, precious, irreplaceable. Standing at his left side, Yiming Xia beamed with quiet pride, like a child awaiting praise. How did you find this place? Heard locals talk while wandering. Silence settled between them as they gazed upward, until Shu Chai broke it. I thought you looked familiar the first day we met. Turning to her, he studied her perpetually short hair and unmistakable elfin ears. Heart tracing? Yiming Xia recalled Dream of the Red Chamber, waiting eagerly for his confession. Instead, he asked gently, were you in the teacher's office the day my parents were called? Shocked, she blinked. You remember that? 6, their first true meeting dated back to early spring. Outside a neighborhood supermarket, she had spotted him squatting beneath a parasol tree feeding a stray cat. Warm spring sunlight filtered through new leaves, filling the world with fresh vitality and stirring her heart into a frantic flutter. By the time she snapped out of her daze, he was gone. Soon after, Zixi dragged her to see the new transfer student, swearing he was breathtakingly handsome. Reluctant at first, Yiming Xia was stunned to find it was him. Their third encounter came while delivering homework to the office. She witnessed Chuche arguing with his mother, who demanded he abandon painting for studies. Stubborn yet calm, he stood listlessly until his mother tore his paintings to shreds in anger. Clenching his jaw, Chuche's eyes turned red. Roaring in raw pain, teachers rushed to calm the chaos. Later, Yiming Xia secretly collected the torn fragments. Piecing them carefully at home, through the crumpled paper, she saw his boundless talent and passion for art. Smiling softly, Chuche said, "So you asked me to paint with you just to give me the courage to keep going." He clashed constantly with his family over his art dreams. That very afternoon, she had watched him rub his temples in frustration after a bitter phone call. Unable to ease his pain directly, she had chosen quiet support. "Oh, I'll convince my mother," he promised quietly, "and I'll do what I love." "Yeah, it's the future you dream of," she cheered, hiding a quiet sigh even if that future had no place for her. 7 times slipped by swiftly, light and carefree. Midway through their sophomore spring semester, Yiming Xia suffered severe stomach cramps mid-monthly exams. Bent over in pain, she finished her papers with gritted teeth. Staggering outside, pale and weak, she met Chuche without hesitation. He carried her straight to the infirmary. Lying on his broad back, she felt his warmth through his thin shirt. Despite the pain, she smiled faintly, grateful for this unexpected luck. Diagnosed with stomach spasms, she was prescribed medicine and ordered to rest. Chuche tucked her into bed and sat by her side. "It's just an old issue," she assured him. "You'll be fine soon." Annoyed yet worried, he frowned. "You know your stomach is sensitive, yet keep eating cold treats. No more soda from me." She smiled softly, lulled into peaceful sleep by his presence. Though she finished the remaining exams smoothly, her earlier poor performance cost her her long first place rank. The whole school buzzed with shock and gossip, reviving rumors of her and Chuche's relationship. This time, the head teacher intervened, summoning both sets of parents. Blaming their bond for her declining grades, she showed them exam transcripts as proof. By the time Yiming Xia learned the truth, Chuche had been taken home by his parents, ordered to transfer back to his original school. Her phone was confiscated, cutting off all contact. She tried explaining her poor score was due to illness. Yet no one listened. Adults only believed what they chose to see. Everything ended abruptly. With no farewell, no closure. She never confessed her feelings, he never finished her portrait, and he never gained his family's approval for art school. Their story froze unfinished. Chuche was always a temporary transfer student. Yu Chen comforted her. He had to leave eventually. She whispered a quiet yes, falling silent. In her only senior year, she buried herself in endless exam papers, sighing softly in quiet moments. Yu Chen watched helplessly, unable to ease her sorrow. "I'm not sad," she would say. Yet she could never forget the bus ride to Lingchuan, teasing Chuche to recite poetry. "Even fine scenery shall feel empty, though 1,000 affections linger. To whom can I speak?" No one at all. In truth, their very first meeting stretched back 10 years, to a summer vacation at her grandfather's house. 8-year. Soul Yiming Xia spent her days lazing on the floor, eating popsicles and reading comics in the sweltering heat. 8-year. Old Chuche lived nearby then, before his family relocated. The evening, he carried his sketchbook to art class, returning after dark. Curious about his drawings once her comics ran out, she called down to him from her second-floor window. "Can you draw comics?" He nodded shyly. "Come tomorrow morning and draw an ending for my book." The next day, they created stories together. Instead of her planned plot, He drew a girl with pointed elfin ears, weaving a magical tale. Captivated, she forgot her original wish. She no longer remembered the story details. Yet she never forgot that elfin minus-eared girl, the whirring fan, melting popsicles, and endless summer laughter. The summer ended too soon. She returned home and they lost touch, their unfinished comic abandoned. That same scorching summer, she had cut her own hair short and dragged to beat the heat, ears fully exposed. Years later, upon meeting Shuchei again in high school, she recognized him instantly. To jog his memory, she cut her hair ragged once more. Crushed when he showed no sign of recognition, she planned to tell him the truth in time. Fate tore them apart first, their story left unfinished once again. 1 year later, Yiming Xi entered her dream university. Beneath the September sun, she spotted a familiar figure. Tall and slender as ever, with sharp features and tiny tiger teeth in his smile, Shuchei radiated clean, youthful warmth. Shocked, she stared. "Why are you here?" Stepping closer with a gentle smile, he repeated softly, "I promised to get into art school and find you in B City." Forced to leave in a hurry years ago, he had begged passing Yu Chen to deliver a message. Meet in B City. Choosing silence, Yu Chen believed fate would reunite them if their promises held true. Shuchei had never given up. Hairs of joy glistened in Yiming Xia's eyes. Her hair had grown long and soft, gentle and calm. Reaching out, he ruffled her hair fondly. "We've met so many times, yet this is your first normal haircut." Realizing he had recognized her elfin ears from the very start, she pouted, ready to accuse him of keeping secrets. Before she could speak, he pulled her into a soft embrace, warm as summer night breeze. He had known her feelings all along too. Multiple times he had nearly confessed, yet held back. She was brilliant, while his future had been uncertain, leaving him too timid to speak. "I'm here to finish our unfinished tending," he murmured. The story she had clung to for years finally bloomed into a perfect, gentle conclusion.